Hey everyone, it's Charisse here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I decided to do a video about mystery thrillers by Black authors. Thriller books are a genre that I've been meaning to get into, but I was like, I want to find thriller books by Black authors because the most popular thrillers are usually by white authors. So I did some research, did some digging, and I found some books I wanted to share with you guys. So yeah, let's get into this. I feel like my outfit and my whole look today kind of goes with the theme of this video. This was not done on purpose, but yeah, let's just go with it. So I have my notes right here as per usual. So the first book I have is called And Now She's Gone by Howzell Hall. This comes out next month, September 22nd. All the books that I'm going to be mentioning all either came out this year or are coming out next month or have come out very, very recently within the past couple of years. So a woman named Isabel Lincoln is gone, but is she actually missing? It's up to Grayson Skies to find her. Although she is reluctant to track down a woman who may not want to be found, Grayson's search for Isabel becomes more complicated and dangerous with every new revelation about the woman's secrets and the truth she's hidden from her friends and family. So the synopsis says that the book explores the nature of secrets and how violence and fear can lead you to abandon everything in order to survive. Sounds interesting. It sounds more like it's on the mystery side of things. Yeah, I'm excited. Sounds good. Okay, so the next book that I have is called Catherine House by Elisabeth Thomas. This one came out this year. A seductive gothic-infused tale of literary suspense about a dangerously curious young undergraduate whose rebelliousness leads her to discover a shocking secret involving an exclusive circle of students and the dark truth beneath her school's promise of prestige. So in the synopsis, and I quote, it says, "You are in the house and the house is in the woods. You are in the house and the house is in you." I don't know what that means, but I'm excited to read this one. I don't know, it sounds fun. Okay, so the next book, I'm trying to speed through this because I don't want this video to be super long. So the third book I have is called The Quiet Ones by Massey. So this one came out this year. This one is a horror. I don't read horror books. I don't even plan on reading many horror books, but this one sounded pretty interesting to me, and this author seems to write a lot of horror, and most of them, if not all of them, had really good reviews. So I thought I'd mention this one too if you're interested in some horror. 25 years ago, a jealous ex-boyfriend murdered Mallory Steele's mother. With no close family to take in Mallory and her older sister, the girls become wards of the state and were soon ripped apart, sent to live with different foster families. Mallory was taken in by loving parents and grew up to have a successful career as an investigative reporter. She goes to Georgia in hopes to find her sister. When she's an adult, she finds something that gives her a lead that her sister may be in Georgia. When she arrives at an old antebellum mansion deep in the murky backwoods, Mallory discovers her sister's new family, a reclusive clan led by a secretive man known only as Father. So Mallory is skeptical and takes this of her sister's creepy family and begins to investigate the truth. There was more in the synopsis, but I didn't want to read on because I am definitely thinking about reading this book. I'm not into horror, but this just sounds really interesting to me, and I feel like it doesn't sound scary to me. It sounds more thrilling. So who knows? I know Massey does have more scarier books. At least from the covers, they looked a little scary. But yeah, I don't know. This one seems interesting. I'm definitely going to read it. I'm excited. So the fourth book I have is called A Killing Fire by Faye Snowden. This one came out last year. The first time Raven Burns saw her father killed, the victim was her mother. Then afterwards, he set their house on fire. Then he took Raven as she was still a child. He took her on a killing spree. So she could have killed him in his sleep or snuck out or whatever, but she was always very scared to do so because he would like whisper in her ear and tell her like these things to scare her. He would say that little girls who told were sent to hell and their mothers were called down from heaven to take care of them in hell. All right, let me go on. So then by the time the father was imprisoned and executed, Raven has become a cop with the sole purpose of putting men like him away. But she can't escape Floyd's terrorizing voice in her head, somehow guiding her steps while reminding her of the horrors he had forced her to witness as a child. The town she lives in accepts that Raven had nothing to do with her father's crimes, but when Raven shoots a teenager who points what turns out to be an unloaded weapon at her, stories about her father resurface. Then someone else turns up dead and Raven is trying to figure out who did it. You guys, these thrillers, they're kind of all over the place, but I'm feeling it, I'm into it, and yeah, I'm gonna read this one. So the next book I have is called When No One Is Watching by Alyssa Cole. This one comes out next month on September 1st. This is a gripping thriller in which the gentrification of a Brooklyn neighborhood takes on a sinister new meaning. Sydney Green is Brooklyn born and raised, and her beloved neighborhood seems to change every time she blinks. The neighbors she's known all her life is disappearing. To hold onto her community's past and present, Sydney channels her frustration into a walking tour and finds an unlikely and unwanted assistant in one of the new arrivals to the block, her neighbor Theo. But Sydney and Theo's deep dive into history quickly becomes a dizzying descent into paranoia and fear. Their neighbors may not have moved to the suburbs after all, and the push to revitalize the community may be more deadly than advertised. I've heard really good things about this book. Like, I've been hearing some people talk about it lately because people have been getting arcs for it, and it seems really good. So I'm definitely going to pick this up when it comes out. I'm very excited for this one. Only because it's very, it's like turning our real world situations, because gentrification is a really big thing right now, and turning that into a thriller, I find that really, really interesting. The next book I have is called The Missing America by Quartey. I hope I pronounced that correctly. This one came out this year. So this is about Emma Jan. She hopes to get higher within her career as a police officer, just like her late father was. She's 26 years old and things aren't really going her way when Emma gets an interview with a private detective agency tracking down missing persons, thefts, and martial infidelities. It's not exactly the future or the career that she wanted, but she's going to roll with it because her career isn't going the way she wants it to. Meanwhile, there's a man named Gordon Tilson. He's a middle-aged widower who lives in Washington, D.C. He has met a young widower online from Ghana, and he flies down to Ghana to surprise her and visit her. But when he ends up missing, his son Derek goes to Ghana to look for him. The case of the missing American man will drag both Emma and Derek into a world of Sakawa scams, fetish priests, and those willing to keep things secret through death. This synopsis was kind of all over the place, so I tried to crunch it down to something that made sense. And yeah, it sounds interesting. I'm just curious as to where it's gonna go. Okay, so the last book that I have on my list here is called The Changeling. I feel like I'm saying that weird. Is it? The Changeling. I don't know, I feel like I'm saying it weird, but whatever. It's by Victor LaValle, or LaValle. This one came out in 2017, so still very recent. Apollo Kagwa is just beginning to settle into his new life as a father when his wife Emma begins acting strange. Disconnected and uninterested in their newborn boy, Emma at first seems to be exhibiting all the signs of postpartum depression, but it quickly becomes clear that her troubles go far beyond that. Before Apollo can do anything to help Emma, Emma commits a horrific act and she vanishes, literally almost as into thin air. Apollo then begins a journey that takes him into the forgotten island of the East River of New York City. Then a graveyard full of secrets, then a forest in Queens where immigrants' legends still live, and finally back to a place he thought he had lost forever. Yeah, there's another Emma in this story. So this book is more on the like thriller fantasy side of things. So I'm excited to see how this will bring the fantasy element into the story. Yeah, So that's my list of thrillers by Black authors. I'm sure there are tons, like hundreds more out there, of course. I just had a difficult time finding them. So please, if you know any more thriller books by Black authors, please let me know in the comments below. I am excited to learn more and add more thrillers to my collection. Yeah. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that I was able to help you find some books too. Yeah, and even if you have some horror books you want to throw in there, let me know in the comments below. I don't watch horror movies, but I think I would like horror books because I'm not actually seeing anything. You know, the visuals are what scares me the most, and I'm scared of many things. But thrillers, I love. I love thriller movies because even though, like, one of my friends, there was one movie, she told me it was really scary to her and I didn't find it scary at all. So thrillers, I can do. Horror, I cannot. But with books, I think I could do horror. I think I could. I don't know. Let's see. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Yeah, I'll see you guys next time.